Hi guys, good morning from the world headquarters of the Dwight Burdett YouTube channel here in beautiful sunny Mazatlan, Mexico, where it's beautiful and sunny, surprisingly enough. And no surprise at all. And it's Monday morning, did I say that? 10 o'clock. And I've been downtown, I went to the bank, did a couple things I had to do. I can actually drive my wheelchair down sort of the back roads of the neighborhood here and not get involved with any traffic. And it's actually quite a pleasant little ride on the wheelchair. And so I got that done. Last night I had an interesting visit. Since I did that video about what was told to people and things that happened when I was in hospital, when I was sick, that should not have happened. I have an acquaintance from Minnesota. I know her fairly well, and I've known her for a couple of years, I guess. And she and her husband dropped by last night to tell me a story. And she said, when you were sick and you got home from hospital, we came to see you. And we were told that the doctors had said you only had maybe 4 or 5 days left, you had cancer, and that your brother didn't want you to know. And she says, you can't go in and see him because he's resting comfortably right now. And she says, when you do see him, if you get the chance, don't tell him about the cancer. I never had cancer. I had an abscess under my heart. It had been operated on successfully. Anyway, so at the news that I had cancer, she said, I cried, she cried, and they left without seeing me. Well, what the truck? I just don't understand that. Why? Like, why? And I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. I've been shocked. And then I heard another story from another friend. Same kind of thing. And she asked, well, what is it he has? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Well, there was no way it was unknown. And you'll remember, if you've watched this channel for any length of time and watch it closely, that when Lupita moved back in, we were actually got engaged, we were going to get married, and I kind of had my hopes all up that things had smoothed over from when we broke up a couple years ago. And it seemed to go fairly well at first, and bought rings, and then she just left. Didn't even bother to tell me. Just sent me a text, and she said, I'm leaving tomorrow. And I said, leaving what? I didn't know what she was talking about. Anyway, I'm beginning to think that her return and interest was all motivated by the possibility of my pension. And when I didn't die, and that wasn't an immediate possibility anymore, that was the end of the interest. I don't know. I'm just shocked. I talked to Kirby last night and told him that story, and he says, oh my God, you know I wouldn't do that. And I said, yeah, I knew it was false as soon as I heard it. I just know you too well. And and he's shocked, I'm shocked. My friend from Minnesota is shocked. My other friend is shocked. It's just all unbelievable. And I don't understand why. Anyway, I really believe in the power of prayer, and I just said, I can't worry about this. Lord, can you please handle it? And what else can you do? And so I've actually slept very soundly the last 2 nights. I think that prayer got answered. It took it right off my mind, and I was able to go to sleep and have good rest. And I feel good today. And yesterday I went down to Coppell. Cynthia was here one day, and I made a toasted bacon and tomato sandwich for her. Oh, she says, oh, that's good. And Mexicans typically don't have toasters. And, she said, that toasted bread is so nice. And I said, you should get a toaster. And she said, yeah. And I said, in fact, I'll get you a toaster. And so I got her a toaster at Coppell. And I ordered it like October 3rd or something. Somewhere around there, early October. And then it came in. And she was going to pick it up, but she got ill, couldn't go get it. And then she finally went to get it. And they said, no, they needed me there with my credentials in order to pick it up. This is a 274 peso toaster. So, they even take your fingerprint, at Coppell. Anyway. Yesterday, which was Sunday, and Saturday, they called here, really rapid fire Spanish, on the phone, and I couldn't quite understand what they were saying, and I said, can you please text me? And they both hung up on me. Both individual calls hung up on me when I asked if they could possibly text me what they were trying to tell me. And anyway, so I called Cynthia, and Cynthia called them and said, what they want is they want you to pick up the toaster. And I said, oh, okay. And then as luck would have it, about 20 minutes later, a friend of mine, Santos, he came by, stopped to talk to me. He usually checks on me once a week, which is very, very nice of him. And I never really need anything. I usually got it handled, or Cynthia has it handled for me more accurately. And, but Santos was here with his car. And I said, Santos, is there any chance you could just run me down to the Coppell here at the end of the street on Cerdan and Morelos? And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. And I said, there's a toaster down there I'm supposed to pick up. And I don't think it'll be a big deal. It's a matter of going in, getting a toaster, and coming back. Yeah, sure, he said, no problem. I said, where is your car parked? And he said, it's just around the corner. He said, I got a full car. And he had his wife in the car, her girlfriend, the girlfriend's husband, 2 kids in the back, in the very back seat. It's one of these 3-row SUVs. And we went down to Coppell, and I went in with his buddy, Luis. And Luis is fluently bilingual. I'm envious. And this is what happens at Coppell. You go there, you give them your account number or show them your card or whatever. They can never find what you're looking for. If they ever once pulled up something that was on my account correctly, I'd be amazed. So they dug around and called people and looked, and they finally found it. And then they walk in the back room, and it was like, sitting right there on the table, a toaster. Maybe look at that one. Anyway, they bring it out. So they bring it out, and she's typing and typing and typing in the computer, and then she starts doing other things, and the toaster's still sitting there. And I said, what about the toaster? Oh, we got to tell the guy that was going to deliver it to your house, and I never asked for it to be delivered, that you're picking it up here. And I said, well, why don't you give it to me and tell him I've picked it up here? Couldn't do that. Anyway, with all these people sitting in the car waiting, I wasted 45 minutes in there, at least 45 minutes. And finally I said to her, you know what? Can you give me my card back, please? I said, I don't want the toaster anymore. I said, when we leave here, I'm going to go to Walmart and buy a toaster. I never did, but that's what I'm going to do eventually. It's like, I just can't believe how a business like that, they're a big business. How are they so disorganized? Why is that such a problem? It was all paid for and everything. I had put it on my account, went in and paid cash, cleared it off my account, and I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, so rather than make the sale, just give me the toaster and let me go, they chose not to make the sale, and Luis and I left the store. So, thank you to Santos for running me down there. And, today, oh yeah, and so, in the hour I wasted going to Coppell and back, the time down there at the store, something I ordered about a month ago, at least a month ago, early October. It's just a cheap jacket, because I lost my sweatshirt at the hospital, and I'm beginning to wonder now, did it get lost, or was I just told it was lost because somebody didn't like it? Anyway, so I had to order a jacket to replace it. It's going to start getting cool here, especially in the evening soon. I do have a couple jackets, but nothing I'd call a go-to kind of jacket. And so I ordered this thing, 300 pesos. And when do you suppose it was delivered? When I was down at Coppell, the 1 hour I left the house yesterday, that's when they showed up here. And they put exception to delivery, resident not home. They're going to try again today. So I'm going to be home today. We'll see. That's just Murphy's Law. So things haven't been going my way lately. It's just never-ending fun. Oh my God. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.